Be like water. Go with the flow. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm drinking some water. And I just had a huge glass of coconut water, one of my favorite drinks of all time. Water and coconut water. And our bodies are made of water, right? We're mostly water. The planet is mostly water. Water is represented or symbolically representative of consciousness itself. Consciousness is a flow. It's not a fixed thing. And oftentimes in life, human beings like me and you, we get fixated on things. We think things are fixed or stuck or permanent, when in fact it's actually all in a flow state. And when we merge with that flow state, basically when we relax and trust in that flow and then allow that flow to happen, we call that having a better life experience. We call that being happy. We call that being healthy. We call that being successful. We call that being in the high vibration. Because a high vibration is what you naturally are. It's what we all naturally are. And humans have gotten really good at focusing on things they don't like, problems, issues, pointing out all the things they think are going wrong. And we're in this new era now. And the new era is all about remembering to relax back into the flow, which is doing the opposite of what we've all been really programmed to do. And there's very simple things you can do. But one of them is to just simply start pointing out things that you enjoy. A lot of people ask me, like, what are some spiritual practices that I can do for my spiritual hygiene, or just like, what are daily things that I can do to improve my life? One of the simplest things you can do, and by the way, I wrote a book about this. One of the simplest things you could do is just focus on the breath coming in and out. Not trying to change it, not trying to slow it down, speed it up, make it bigger, make it smaller. Just allowing air, oxygen to flow into your body how it normally wants to flow will allow you to get back in the flow. It's the first law of wellness that I write about in my book, The 7 Laws of Wellness and the Simplicity of Living Well, which is an ebook you can get. But it's just about getting back into this flow. And we get so caught up in what we think is going on or what we think we should be doing that we literally create the illusion that we're separate from the flow. But these trees behind me, for example, in a couple of months, they're going to lose their leaves. They're going to go through a death process. The leaves are going to fall and the weather's going to change and blah, blah, blah. And nobody out here is controlling that. And nobody out here can stop that from happening either. So the flow is going to continue to flow. The question is, are you going to go with the flow or are you going to go against the flow? And when you keep the game really simple, first of all, noticing where you are, by noticing the breath, by the way, you notice how much you're thinking. And once you start focusing on the breath, a lot of that thinking stops. You can't be focused on your breath and be thinking at the same time. You can't be in the flow and out of the flow at the same time. So by becoming a little bit more aware of your breath in any given moment, whether it's with your eyes closed in a meditation, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's doing whatever you do for your job or whatever it is, just throughout the day, notice your breath and allow yourself to sink into that breath. That's how you become more like water and go with the flow. Air has water vapor in it too, right? Consciousness is everything flowing in a flow state. And just by tuning into our flow, our rhythm, our wherever we are, we automatically start lining up more and more with the flow of who we are. And that's where we receive more inspiration. We receive more health and wellness. We receive more of all the wonderful things in life. And when you look back on your life, think about a great time, something great happened to you, or a great memory that you had. Maybe you were on vacation, or maybe you were doing something that you thought was so great. The actual experience of that thing was, like say you won an award, or you got a promotion, or you got married even, let's say. had a child, whatever it is. The actual event is a pretty short experience. Doesn't happen over years, right? It's like one day or one moment. And then you kind of return back to whatever your baseline of life is. And we get caught up in chasing those kind of peak experiences. But actually this moment right now is the peak experience, because those experiences happened within this larger now moment. And when you're returning back to the flow, when you go back to your own flow just by focusing on your breathing for a little bit, that peak experience starts to expand. Your awareness of how miraculous this now moment is expands, not just in those brief moments where you thought you were doing something that was so great, but your whole life starts to expand, and now each and every moment can become the best of the best of the best, and it just keeps getting better naturally, because there's a flow that you have no control over. But the highest form of control is the surrendering to that flow. So one of the best practices you could ever do is just simply breathe, or anything that makes you feel like you're in the flow, anything that feels like joy, anything that feels like, man, I love this glass of water, I love this glass of coconut water, or this food that I'm eating, or whatever it is. So I just wanted to remind everybody really quickly, and I also want to hear what you feel is something that allows you to feel like you're in the flow. And I also want you to, do you notice when you're in the flow and when you're out of the flow? Can you recognize that? This is one of the greatest signs of higher intelligence, in my opinion, is being aware of yourself when you're really trying to do something, you're stressing out, you're forcing, or when you're not, when you're relaxed, when you're in ease, when you're in flow, when you're in the natural rhythm of yourself. That alignment is where that's just where it is. That's where the flow is. That's where the magic is. That's where life becomes a living miracle. It's where you shift out of that 3D mind state into the 4D, and then that 5D level of consciousness that remembers who we really are. It remembers we're all actually one. Where you remember that this is a very temporary experience, and that we came here to enjoy it, and to do more of the things that we enjoy and love, and focus on the things that we do like off the menu. Just like I always tell people, when you go to a restaurant, you don't talk about all the food on there that you don't like. You just find the thing that you do like, and you order that, and you get on enjoying that. And throughout life, you always have a menu in front of you of things that you can participate in, focus on, and just focus on the things on the menu that you like and enjoy, and allow your energy to flow in that direction. That is where your flow is, and that's going to be unique for every single person, every single being in the universe. And you are a one of one. There has never been anybody before you that's like you, and there will never be anybody after that is like you. You are a true miracle. And reconnecting with that, and honoring that, and trusting that flow your heart is guiding you on, to me, is where all of the magic happens, effortlessly. That's where manifestation becomes effortless. That's where life becomes joyful. That's where you are the best version of yourself without even trying. So enjoy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.